And welcome to my Chicagoland garden. In this week's episode, we are going to have a full tour of my edibles. It's been a long 3 days planting out everything that we started from seed, but we succeeded and got it all planted out, and the 2 zipper greenhouses are now broken down and put away. Let's get to it. So here is the garden from atop a tall ladder. This gives you a sense of all of our edible growing space. It's actually an abundance of food that can be grown this way. So these are my main growing spaces in the yard. We had these built, about 5 or 6 years ago, and the intent was so that we could grow old with the garden, be able to sit, kneel, whatever, have it raised up a bit so we weren't doing so much bending. Now that we're retired, I really appreciate that decision. Let's see what's growing. Here I've got some Walla Walla onions. I did rosemary from seed for the first time successfully. They're just babies, but it worked. Those are the red ruby onions, which I am quite used to doing, but this year I had rather poor germination, so I don't have too many, and I'm thankful for what I do have. There's some Ishikura bunching onion and some other parade bunching onion. I threw in some snapdragons for color, and that's a big large mum. I can't decide if I'm going to leave it there or not, but it looks gorgeous in the fall. This is lemon thyme that I just purchased. My lemon thyme that was here didn't come back this year, and I don't know why, because it typically comes back every year. All I can think of was that it was a very dry early spring, and that might have done it in. Here's the first of my 12 tomatoes. This is going to be a Berry's Crazy Cherry. This has the huge trusses of pear-shaped yellow tomatoes. This is lettuce. We've got Marvel of Four Season, red romaine, and some Paris Island Coss. Behind it is dill and cilantro. I threw in some tall snaps for color and the pollinators. This is my favorite onion. I did it for the first time last year. It's called Patterson, and it's stored beautifully. As a matter of fact, I still have a couple that are still good these several months later. I just love this onion. Right now, my leeks are kind of in a nursery status. I have them in clumps, sitting here just trying to get larger before I'll plant them out individually, probably sometime in June, about a month from now when they get some size on. This is my favorite variety. It's called American Flag. This one I tried last year called King Richard. It is a very good variety as well. And Steve sent me some Mercurian leeks from England, so I'm going to give those a go as well. This is a leek that just showed itself this spring. So it's a King Richard. I'm letting it go to seed so that I can save the seeds from it. That's a celery that popped up this spring from last year. It's a tango, and I'm going to see if it goes to seed as well. I'd like to save seeds from that. This was purposely left last year. These are benching onions, and they have flowered, so now they're starting to set their little seeds so I can save them. This is mustard and Mizuna mustard and arugula, also known as rocket, and I'm letting both of those go to seed so that I can save seed. Didn't come up. I think I needed to put them in right away when I harvested them rather than holding off till the fall and planting it with the other garlic. These bunching onions and leeks were planted winter sowing style in the earth with a cover. And honestly, these are doing so much better than the ones I did inside. I think I'm going to do more next year because that worked out great. This spinach I also winter sowed under a tote, and it did marvelously. We have been eating off of this for 2 months, and it's just now bolting, so we're going to have the last of this for probably a couple more weeks. These are the borlotti beans, and I had 11 of them successfully germinate, and the ones that didn't, I dug through to find the beans, which usually are like, you know, just gone mushy, and there were no beans. So I think we had a visitor to the zipper greenhouses this year. This is a kale that I keep leaving here and cutting back the blooms as they come because I just don't have the heart to take it away from the bees who have just been loving on it. This is 3 clumps of chard. We just love our chard. Our favorite is the Ford Hook Giant. This is the Santiam Sunrise that Steve sent me from England, and this is a atomic fusion tomato, which is kind of an upgrade of the Brad's Atomic Grape, and a Dr. White Cheese Yellow. Here in the little circle center bed, I've got snapdragons going all around the front, which I will have to thin now, and I'm going to have to pull some radishes because I see I've got a couple trying to bolt now that it's gotten warmer. There's a massive stash of arugula that I also need to harvest today because it is sort of shading out the carrots that are around the front here. On this side, past the spring bulbs that are done, is some calendula. In the center is going to be a butternut that goes up this obelisk structure. This back bed is the largest bed, and there are lots of things going on. First thing up here in front are some bronze cherry snaps. They're F1s. I've never done them before. That'll be fun. So the first row is golden beets, and these are French breakfast radishes, and Chioggia beets, more radishes, and some little gem lettuce. So once I get those 2 rows of radishes out of here, which is going to be shortly, the other things can take off. I did sow a few successions of radish here, but not many germinated. I've got some bunching onions tucked in there, and this is Bolero F1 carrots, and some red Florence onions. Elsa Craig, boy, I just had so much trouble with them this year. I don't know if they'll come to anything. They don't look like much. This is the sweet garlic collab that I put together, and I'm just now seeing some germination on those leeks. This will be fun. I've got several YouTuber friends who are also growing these, and love to see what they think of it and how it tastes. There's a rogue nasturtium that came in. I'm just leaving, probably let it go. It makes a lovely addition and attracts all the baddies to it away from my other plants. These are my 2 hot peppers, an Anaheim and an ahi mango. There are my favorite carrots planted here. These are the Envy carrots. They are just my troopers. They go, they go, they go. I'm leaving space all in here for the leeks to be planted once they are ready. Now, this is Radicchio, the Verona Red. So there's some curly parsley. with some marigolds, obviously. And these are red sun shallots, which I have never done before, and I did them from sets. So far, it is working marvelously. Fingers crossed that we don't bolt. Basil. This one is the sweet Genovese, the standard one that most everybody does. And this is a Lucid Gem tomato. And Tim's Taste of Paradise, which I did last year. Yummy. Just as tasty as Sun Gold and doesn't split. Here's some Utah tall celery and conservor shallots that I did from seed. Didn't get many to germinate. This is a mix of lettuce here. And in the brassica net, I've got Copenhagen cabbage and Katarina cabbage. Couldn't remember the name of that second one. But I think I'm having a little slug munch in there, so that's pretty unusual for me, but I'm gonna have to go in and have a look after we're done with this. These are a trellis of cucumbers, Punicura, which I did last year, and the Little Leaf OG, which is a new one to me. This is the Resistimate pocketbook Steve sent me, Steve Digwell, and the Castelluto Genovese that Allie sent me, my rusty garden. This is Mr. Tartar's German. Now this thing is supposed to get huge, like huge tomatoes. So I'm planning on maybe some extra support and I don't know what. And another one from Steve called Britain's Breakfast. Here just coming up are some Badger Flame beets from row 7. Kind of excited about those. That's a gourmet seed company that works with chefs and farmers to breed the tastiest veg. This is Tango celery and giant Prague celeriac. I've never done celeriac before, so that is exciting for me. Here's my favorite basil. Did I say favorite? I meant favorite. Lemon drop. It makes the most delicious everything, especially pesto. There's some flat leaf parsley and my oregano. Up front, I also have another cuke trellis. This one has crystal apple, which Nanu and Grinch sent me from England, and a Socrates F1. I am hoping that I don't have cuke beetles like I did last year because they took out my varieties. This is my main growing space for garlic. I've got some Spanish Rojo up front. This is saved red garlic. It's either music or other varieties that I've been saving, all red varieties from over the years. And in the back, the stuff that's the tallest is the Moravian. I did it for the first time last year. They were huge, they were delicious, we love them, so we're hoping for good things again this year. Here's the other 5 peppers that I'm doing. This first one is a habanada pepper, and this is Alma paprika, Sweet Ingrid, Jimmy Nardello, and then a Corono de Toro. The only one that I didn't grow from seed is the Corono de Toro. Got some nasturtiums stuck in here at the corner. That's dazzling blue kale and a couple varieties of kohlrabi. This will be melons. I've not yet planted the seed. That'll happen shortly. This is my Greek gigantes. I had 100% germination. I'm so excited because here in America you can't get these anywhere. But Will the Flying Gardener sent them to me, and I am just thrilled that I had 100% germination. I'm also going to do cucamelons in this bed. In this bed is lemon balm and rhubarb. This is my mint patch. It's been going for several years now, and we just made our first mint and honey tea of the year. And so I've just got to remember to keep that going all summer because we just love it. The chives have been blooming now for a couple of weeks. I'm telling you, they put on such a show. I will let this continue on and go to seed and save it for the Door County Seed Library. This is a new pot that I just put together, and it's trying to settle in. It's not quite there yet, but it'll get there. This is a big patch of thyme. Very shortly I will grab some of that so that I can dehydrate it for use over the winter. And this is really special garlic because it is soft neck garlic. All the other varieties that we've ever done have been hard neck varieties, and it's called Red Talk. I'm quite excited because if this works out well, we will have garlic that will store way longer than the hard neck, which usually takes us through January. You are about to enter the berry domain. On this side we have black satin, thornless blackberry. On this side is Chester, a thornless blackberry. I'm quite concerned about Blackie this year because Blackie has nothing growing on last year's vines. They are barren. They are not producing any foliage that we can see. I'll have to get up on the ladder and verify, but normally this is just full, and it's died for some reason. But the plant has not died because all of the new foliage that'll be next year's fruit is fine. As a matter of fact, it's lush and gorgeous. So I'm a bit worried about this one. This is a perpetua blueberry. It fruits up more than once per year. So on this side is Chester. Chester is kicking it into high gear. Usually fruits after about 2 weeks, starts fruiting about 2 weeks after black satin, but this year Chester's going to be the one that does it for us all the way around. And he's up for the challenge, it appears. And again, there's another perpetua blueberry down in the front. As you enter through the arbor, we have 3 blueberries, which I've taken out of the big beds and put into pots. We put an ericaceous compost and some different type of fertilizer, and they are really, really leafing out well. So I think it was the right thing to do. Well, straight ahead are strawberries and blueberries running in the middle of that. And it looks like they're coming on strong because we've got some fruit ripening up. This has a mixture of June bearing and also other everbearings and a variety that we picked up somewhere that has really tiny little bitty strawberries that are just delicious. These 2 haven't really been planted up yet. They're in reserve for other things. This is Kennebec potatoes, which I've never done potatoes before, so this is very exciting for us. On this side is Adirondack blue potatoes. Again, first time I've done potatoes. And then I had some left over I was gonna give away, and then we decided, oh, what the heck, let's just plant them. So I see that they are popping up now. So yay. And in this barrel we've got ground cherries, also known as Cape gooseberries. This is Aunt Molly's. We will have to cage them or the squirrels will win the battle. We'll also have to net all of this fruit. So we made our 2 cherry trees into beds of deliciousness this year. We added these towers from the dollar store, stackable planters, and so far, really liking them. Peas up at the top, they're the short Tom Thumbs. Ooh, and they're flowering, so we should have peas within a handful of weeks. These are gooseberries, and there's a couple on them, so we'll get at least to taste them this year. This is a North Star cherry tree. It was topped off by a bird when it was very young, so it's never going to really get much bigger than this, but that's okay. It's easy to pick and makes delicious fruit. And there is another of the stackable planters. And so far it's been feeding us well with lettuce. But I've got lots of other things coming on in here as well. On this side, this tree is a tartan cherry, and it is pretty full of fruit, not super laden. It fruited before the bees were really out, so I think pollination was, an issue. That's a red lake currant, and this is a white currant, and I threw in some Montauk daisies in the front. Well, here are the 7 large pots that I've mostly done food in this year, sort of a combination. There's begonias. This is Carudishan carrots, which I've not done before, and mammoth basil, which is that type that you can wrap a sandwich inside of. Sounds awesome to me. This is Wild Boar Farms mini Marzano, planning to make plenty of sauce. And these are Cracker Jack marigolds, the big ones. The Golden Hour tomato. This is the newest release from Wild Boar Farms this year, so I'm quite excited to taste that. Dill and curly parsley, and, well, my friend the squirrel has been a stinker and dug a hole here and a hole here. Urgh. Constant nemesis in this yard. And here's some short snapdragons that I started winter sowing style. So, yay. Well, there's thunder in the distance we can hear, and the wind is coming in gusts on and off, so we're gonna hightail it inside for today, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope to do one of our flower beds as well in the future. Remember, sometimes the only thing we harvest is knowledge, and that's okay. Bye for now. We'll see you on the next one.